Hey there, Commercial Roofing Radio listeners. The team at peakleads.io wanted to say a big thank you for tuning in every week. As a way to say thanks, we're giving away 3 Big Roofs prize packages. We'll be selecting 3 winners on November 1st to receive a Big Roofs t-shirt, koozie, stickers, and more. All you need to do to enter is go to peakleads.io/giveaway. That's peakleads.io/giveaway. Giveaway is one word. I'll link it in the description of this episode in case you missed it. Huge thank you again for listening. You guys are seriously the best. All right, that's it for me. Enjoy the episode.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Commercial Roofing Radio. Let's go. We got my buddy Kyle Shirley in the house. Kyle, what's up, my friend?
What's up, Nick? Thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be here.
Of course, man. Another local Denver roofing contractor. Now, what's interesting about Kyle, so we met, what do you think? 3 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago now?
Right there, about 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Kyle started listening to the Start Build Grow show, got involved in the Roofing Academy, but at the time, you were still in finance and banking.
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yep.
you spent over a decade
Yeah.
in finance and banking, correct?
Yeah. So more like a dozen years
Yeah.
of a kind of a corporate strategy career, and then
Yeah.
and then I started to get an entrepreneurial itch, and before I even really kind of went live with my company with Sol Vista Roofing, I did link up with Randy and the Roofing Academy. You and I met through there, and we kept in touch ever since.
Yeah, it was interesting, and everybody kind of has a different journey, not only into roofing, but also into entrepreneurship. So if you look at someone like me, hey, I get booted out of my previous job. Great time to start a new business because hey, I got nothing to lose, right? I didn't really like my career that much anyways. And then with you had a stable career, right? I had a former VP of Business Banking Strategy, Finance, and Operations. So you had a good career, a lot of stuff that was going well for you, it seemed like, and well established. And you decided to flip the switch, but when you did, you didn't go all in right away. You decided to learn, get educated, keep your job, and then make the jump when you felt it was appropriate. Is that because are you business, like numbers? Are you very analytical? And so you kind of wanted to be really thought out, or why did you take that approach?
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons. Number one, yeah, I am. I'm a planner, right? I'm a finance guy, so I've always been kind of like, sketching everything out.
Yeah.
And but I also, I wanted to keep earning, right? So I kept my job so I could keep my own personal lights on. And my wife works, right? So I'm very fortunate there too. I'm not sure if I'd really be able to kind of take such a huge leap if I didn't have my wife works.
So did she get a shout out right here? Is this
yeah.
Give her a shout out.
Love you. 12 years together, me and her. She's
Great.
The best. So yeah, I mean, and I did want to, because I was a newcomer to this industry. I wanted to make sure that I didn't jump in too forcefully, but I also linked up with the right people. I met you, I met Randy, I met some other trainers and consultants. They set me kind of on the right path, and now it's been 14, 15 months that we've really been open. And then I did jump out of my corporate career, at the beginning of this year. So I'm full-time, GM of Sol Vista Roofing right now. And, I mean, getting started, it was tough, man. I had to, owning and starting a roofing company on the side, I do not advise that, So thankfully I had some good teachers, and I learned a lot of lessons. I also brought on some people on board to help me kind of take care of a lot of the day-to-day stuff. But when you start a construction company, that company is the owner, right? And so if I did it again, I would want to make sure that I have my full focus on attention on that company from day one. That's one change that I would make.
So you wouldn't recommend the strategy that you took to stay fully employed while
I wouldn't do it that way again. I mean, in this business, I've come to really respect the fact that when you're a small roofing company, especially, you know, I'm not Global Roofer. When you're a small roofing company, customers like to know that they're working with the owner, right? There's some
That's like the advantage kind of in a way, is that the experience
exactly
that they
right.
have.
Yeah, and so when I was not big and also not able to work with every customer, you know, I kind of think that that was a little bit set me back a little bit. But now I'm doing it, and yeah, I mean, I do work with almost every customer interacts with me at some point. So hopefully that doesn't stay that way forever, but I like that for now. It works well.
So what about at a financial standpoint? So you're saying that you wouldn't do it the way you did it while working fully employed and starting the company at the same time. So what would you do for startup costs? How would you plan that? Because you know that's kind of your background, anyways, is that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's a good question, man. So I look at it as, you know, I probably would have ended up in about the same place financially because, like I told you, I had to bring people on. I had to invest in a staff right away, and I didn't have any income coming in, and I had to invest in that staff. So we operated at a pretty good sized loss in my first year, but I was making money, so everything was kind of okay. So the alternative would have been, you know, don't run at such a loss, but sacrifice my salary, and probably would have been about the same, you know. But that would have at least allowed me to focus on getting every customer, you know, making it a great experience for them. And I think
Full focus.
when you're a brand new roofing company, I think that's, you know, maybe the most important thing is you need to make sure that every customer has a great experience. You know, any little notch against you there, it takes a lot to overcome that.
And make sure that they're putting value back in the business when they do it. So whether it's their review, you know, a good testimonial, a before and after picture, any evidence that can show that you're credible and showcase your book of work, if you will, in the beginning, and happy customers, all that kind of stuff. And what, you know, it's tough when you go partly into starting the roofing company while working the job, because you're learning not only entrepreneurship, but you're also learning the industry too, because you didn't really have the experience there either. So we're not only learning, you know, business operations as an owner, but also the industry itself. That's difficult, right? If you're either in the space or entrepreneurial, right? It makes it a little bit easier. And because I was in the same situation when I started mine, didn't really have a ton of experience in what I wanted to do. I had a general idea, but I wasn't a master of the craft, if you will. And operating a business was brand new to me.
Yep.
So it was so much more painful trying to learn.
You learned it on two fronts, man, because like every day you're learning something new and you're getting challenged with this stuff that you don't know, and it's uncomfortable. That's really hard, man. I mean, I was it's been I wouldn't change anything, but it's been tough, right? Like I went from almost from hero to zero in a way. You know, I kind of, now I'm working my way up from being more of a nobody in the roofing space, and I haven't made it. Like Sol Vista, you know, last year, like I said, we operated at a loss. This year we're having a good year. So I want to make sure that thank you. I want to make sure that I count my blessings there, because it has been a pretty good year, but I've not made it. You know, this company is not established. We have a lot of growing to do. You know, most people that are sitting in this chair, you know, with the blue lights and all that, you know, like most people they've made it. They've done something to earn that acknowledgement. And we're still on the come up big time. There's still a lot of learning ahead for Sol Vista.
Hey, it's an attitude, it's persona, right? It's not about, you know, where you've made it, but the journey that you're on, enjoying it, right? Being a good person in the industry. That's why, you know, people come on here, right?
Yeah.
So, no, congrats on all your success. Now, what would you say though? So you've been in business for how long now, you said?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we've been open for, I think it's, what was it, April of 21. So,
yeah,
you know, 18 months or
18 months or so. Okay. Yeah. So let's say you go back there, 18 months, you know, and maybe even before that when you started learning about roofing and whatnot, you know, what were people telling you about the marketplace in Denver versus what they're telling you now?
They were saying this market is as dry as it's ever been. You know, the roofing is not popping off right now. More companies are closing than are opening. That's what I was hearing, you know. So that was a tough environment to walk into. And you know, because you're a local guy, this market is tough for roofers right now, especially if you're residential focused, you know. But what that means is it dries up the commercial side too, because then more people just are looking for work anywhere they can get it. So yeah, I mean, it was a tough marketplace to walk into. And for me, trying to find kind of the silver lining of any situation, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, if the market was this big, right? And now it's contracting down, there's a lot fewer roofing contractors here. I mean, I don't need overhead. I don't need to justify a big office and 12 trucks and a huge team. If I can kind of open this up, do a really good job, and earn a good reputation in the marketplace, then by the time that market is ready to get back this way, I've established our brand to a big enough point that we'll probably have some really good years ahead. And if I can just kind of, I don't want to say limp along, because like I said, we're doing okay. But if we can just get there, then I feel really good about our chances, and that's where I'm at right now.
No,
But I mean, going back there, you're right. It was tough when we were first kind of getting started. It's been a tough few years here in Denver.
Yeah, no joke. I like what you said there, though, where it's, hey, eventually this is going to change. The marketplace is going to improve. There's going to be more opportunity. So when there is, you want to be ready. So I know a lot of people are scared when the environment isn't good. It's easy to retract, but you want to stay aggressive. You want to, consume as much of that market as you can, right? It doesn't matter really what size you are, but when people are pulling back, that's your opportunity to strike and keep going, and then all of a sudden, as that market expands, you're well known, you have the good brand, you've really just done a good job of being efficient, because this is a great time to be efficient too. Be the best version of yourself. So if there's areas, if there's recessions, if there's supply shortage, all this kind of stuff, those are all going to be all obstacles, and the people who overcome those have positive perspectives on them and are very aggressive in finding solutions.
Completely agree. And that's been my approach. So far it's working out all right.
And it steered you to some commercial stuff. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I when we launched, I was thinking, this is going to be a residential focused company. Let's cut our teeth a little bit. Let's earn the opportunity to graduate into commercial. But as you kind of alluded to it already, my career has been very B2B sales focused. I was working in commercial banking, where it's all business to business banking products. Before that, I was in kind of a large healthcare a corporate healthcare area. Before that, it was B2B advertising sales, right? And so I had a few residential customers that own commercial properties, and they asked me to take a look. And that B2B roofing conversation and ROI discussion, and kind of let's plan this out in a way that makes sense for your building and your business, was just much more natural to me than the in-home sort of at the kitchen table sales approach. I had to learn that from scratch. I had never done that. That was brand new to me. I'd never seen anything like that before, right? So that was more uncomfortable for me than that B2B sales approach, where you're having a value conversation at that point. And that I've been trained on. I kind of done that. So I won a couple of small jobs, coating jobs, repair jobs, the types of things that were the right type of size opportunity for me where I was at. And that opened the door to be like, well, maybe I can do a little bit of this. Maybe that's not so scary after all. And then from there, I go in, I do some training on learning single ply systems, get some manufacturer certifications, make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row so that I can maybe take on a bigger project or two. And that's the path that I've been on really for the past 9 months or so this year. And I've got a long way to go. I mean, that world is very deep in terms of, expertise and knowledge out there. So I'm excited to keep learning on that. I'm excited to keep getting those opportunities. And I think, I'm never going to not do residential roofing. I really want to make sure that we keep the door open for residential roofing here in Denver. But there's going to be a lot more commercial roofing in Sol Vista's future for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Congrats on that move. I love that. So now you're messing around with that in the commercial side. I know you got connected with my buddy Dave Sullivan. You've been talking to him a little bit. It seems like you've been doing training. What other advice do you have for contractors just getting into the commercial space?
Oh, advice getting into commercial, man. So I mean, I guess I can only speak from my perspective. It can be intimidating, so you have to start with what you don't know. And I think that means you have to challenge yourself with learning, and that can be pretty tough. So challenge yourself with learning, and then also, I mean, the door does not open for you unless you can do commercial repairs. You have to do the jobs that nobody wants. You just have to do that stuff, and that's what earns you another at bat the next time. You get another, if you can solve somebody's leak, solve somebody's problem, maybe there's hardly any margin in it for you, you know, that's what earns you another plate appearance. So keep earning those plate appearances. Sooner or later, you know, a whale will approach, right?
Yeah.
So
So you're the finance guy, so how are you looking at these jobs now? If you're looking at picking on these bigger jobs where it might take a while for you to get paid up these large sums of money, how are you preparing yourself for that?
I mean, we get by on repairs, you know, I mean, we kind of keep the lights on with repairs, and, you know, the larger jobs take a long time. And, you know, we're not really working on a lot of huge 1,000 square, you know, that's not really our for commercial, our ideal customers, 100 squares to 250 squares, kind of small owner occupied buildings. That fits our kind of current skill set really well.
So you building that to you build up your cash flow for the bigger jobs too, though, or like how, like I guess strategically, how are you visioning the larger jobs at like a financial standpoint to be able to handle that?
Yeah,
at
you're
some
saying
point?
like if I get $1 million roof.
Yeah, let's say you get
how do we make that happen?
Yeah, right. How are you looking at that? Like, are you kind of like looking at the finances, or like have an idea where you feel comfortable taking on something like that, or like how do you? Because I'm just generally curious, to be honest, because I don't know, because I'm always wondering how guys do that transition from residential to commercial and then get these bigger jobs.
To be completely honest with you,
yeah,
that type of scenario, that's too big of a leap for me.
Yeah, right.
You know? So
Exactly.
I'm not going to turn anybody away. If I get a phone call today, $1 million roof, I'm going to say, yeah, I mean, of course I can help you, but I'm going to partner with somebody that I know in this market, that I'll team up with on a job like that. And thankfully, I know some great commercial roofers with that type of skill set in their tool belt. And I would give them a call, and we'd walk the roof. We'll come up with something that makes it a win for both of us. But that's not something that we're at right now, ready to take that big of a bite.
But I'm just wondering how contractors know when they're ready, I guess. Is it like a certain amount of money in the bank, you feel like, or is it?
Well, I mean, you want to be able to float it for sure, but when you get that level of establishment, you have bigger credit lines with your suppliers. You probably have a bank working capital line of, I know a little bit about, like, you'll have a working capital line of credit from a bigger bank. You'll have a bigger line of credit from a supplier. So if you need to put in a $600,000, $1 million material order, you're probably pulling a few strings, but you can make it happen. Where I'm at right now, I mean, I only have a couple years of business credit at all. So that's why, and I'm not going to fund this thing personally, right? So I know roofers around town that can make it happen, that I know they have a working capital line of credit. I know they have a big supplier line of credit. And I know they have longer payment terms. So, that's one of the main reasons why I would partner with them. It's not because I'm scared of the system. At this point, I know the roofing systems well enough that I can put a great proposal together. But really, when it comes to the execution of it, the production of that big, huge roof, at the stage we're at now, where we're looking to max out at maybe 350 squares, I need somebody that has a little bit more muscle power than that right now. In that scenario.
Do you have any tips on how a commercial contractor could leverage somebody else's money, or leverage just different banking or whatever strategies that you think could be good for contractors to utilize or know about?
Well, so one thing that I've learned here is, in this business, there's not a lot of financial sophistication.
Yeah.
There are some really well-run roofing businesses out there, like really sophisticated businesses. But when it comes to finances, I'd like to see so step one is just pay your bills, pay your suppliers, pay your labor, pay them fast, pay them well, and make sure that you track everything. Just be good at having your books clean. And over time, if you just do the basics, that turns into good credit. And if you can keep that good credit over time, by the time you're maybe $5-10 million roofing company, you can go to a bank and say, listen, I want to talk about a line of credit to fund off-season, fund large inventory purchases, or fund large projects. And because I've worked in banks, I kind of know what banks are looking for.
Yeah.
If you have had clean books for a few years and you have good credit, I mean, they'll be willing to talk to you about getting a $500,000, $1 million line of credit so that when you land that whale and you need to pull a string, you've got an ace in the hole to help you get that job done and look like a king to your customer. And then they refer you to their property owner and they refer you to their property management company. And all of a sudden you're looking at maybe 5 of those jobs, right?
So when should they build that relationship then? Is that pretty early on, or should they?
Yeah, I mean,
with the banker.
Yeah, so it's funny because even me right now, I just have a regular kind of business checking account. I come from a business banking world, but I think probably too early for that.
Yeah.
So if you are launching your company, you're doing good, you're growing the company, I'd say year 2 plus is when you probably want to start having a business banking relationship. Right now, I'm just I'm a branch bank customer. I'm not a sophisticated enough business that I have like a banking relationship manager and a loan officer, and I gotta, have all these covenants and all this stuff. That's not where my company's at. But, once you get into year 2 plus, I would go into your branch and say, hey, do you guys have any business banking specialists?
Start prepping then, hey?
Just ask them for an introduction. They'll take you to lunch.
Oh yeah.
That's all you got to do. They'll take you to lunch. They're going to ask about your business. They just want to get to know you a little bit. And if you're vibing well with that banker and that person, maybe open up a small checking account there, or if you already have a checking account, ask them, what else can they do based on their knowledge of your business? Like, do you have any products that help construction companies like mine? And see what they say, right? I mean, the relationship will grow from there, but it really starts with, I think you need to have a good person that you trust and that has your business's best interests at heart.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And then is business credit basically the same as personal credit, or what is the magical equation, or is it a who knows question on the?
No, so business focused banks they're all gonna have a different set of things that they're looking at. Okay,
gotcha.
But it is gonna be different than personal, because with personal credit, if you're looking to get a mortgage, they're gonna look at, do you have W-2 income that can justify this mortgage payment?
Yeah.
Like that's basically it. With business, there's a whole big laundry list of things that they're going to be looking for. So that's why it helps to have that relationship kind of on the early side, right? Because then if you're thinking down the road, I may want a loan. I'm going to buy some commercial real estate. I want a line of credit for this puppy. Ask them what they look for. What do you guys, if I was, maybe next year I want $1 million line of credit, what do I got to do? Usually you need to have 3 years of steady profits at a bare minimum, right? And then they're going to start looking at fractions and ratios for how you're going to repay that loan. But if you have a starting point of 3 years of steady profits in your business, you could probably start to think about how can you leverage some credit to really put your growth on hyperdrive.
I mean, they're looking at profits. What else are they looking at? Are they looking at accounts receivable? What are like? Is there like some key metrics that you say they're looking at? Is it pretty obvious, or is it?
No, I mean, it's never obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so the banker's going to look at, and usually it's not your loan officer. The loan officer, no matter what happens, they're your buddy, right?
Yeah.
There's somebody in the back that's kind of going through the books, and they're going to have a big long list of questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 3 years of profits, they do want to see accounts receivable. Not moving past 90 days on any regularity. They probably are going to want to see that you don't depend on any one like large client.
Yep.
Right. They want to see some diversity in your client base there. They want to see, roofers hate this, but they don't like seasonality very much.
Oh yeah.
Out here, at least in Denver,
so that's
spring and summer come up like this. Winter doesn't look very good.
So that's an automatic knock, right? So you're going in, that's -1. It could be a +1 that a lot of contractors aren't doing enough of is recurring revenue with the service stuff, right? If you're doing stuff that becomes a recurring revenue model, boom, 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 and you got it on a schedule like that, they do like to see that, don't they?
100%. Yep. You're asking me these questions.
I know some, you know what I mean? So it's like I know little bits and pieces, but this is good information for any business owner, really, right?
If you can say, hey, we've got, on our commercial division, we've got 100 clients that we are on an annual maintenance plan. We can count on this recurring revenue, right? That shows diversity of client base and also sort of some stability in the business where you're not trying to, one of the things about roofing is you gotta
hunt.
You gotta hunt. You
always gotta hunt every single month.
You gotta go kill what you eat every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unless you're smart enough to develop that maintenance plan, and that's something that we're still we're still really new at that at Sol Vista. I mean, we started to offer it. We have a couple clients that we're testing the waters with a little bit, but by no means are we experts at that yet.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. And no, I mean, that's some great information. So, if you're a contractor out there and you don't feel like you are utilizing any of that stuff enough, and maybe you are established, go out there, right, and build that relationship with the banker and see what kind of money you can get. I mean, you got to think too. I mean, how is everything looking now with inflation and stuff like that? How is
banking
to be able to get money?
Yeah, so banking, there was up until last year, banks really wanted to lend money. Business banks were trying to lend money. Now that we've seen rates kind of shoot way up, I'm hearing, and like I said, I'm not in the biz anymore, but I'm hearing that they are not lending money quite so freely as much. So that's where having a clean set of books will really be your best friend if you're trying to get some credit. They're still looking. I mean, banks are always going to do good deals. Banks are looking for good deals, but those ones that are on the fence are probably not happening as much this moment of this year, than they were last year.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. I had to dig some of that information out of you. I knew you had so much experience in there, and I was like, I'm kind of curious myself. So I definitely appreciate that. So what are you working on personally right now for the company? What's kind of the big initiative where you say, we're coming in Q4, how's the year been and what are you working on right now?
Yeah, so the year's been good, and I feel really grateful for that, because this is still a new enterprise, and success is not guaranteed. No way. So
were you feeling a little worried with like the issues with like the no hail and all this stuff with the market getting harder and harder, where you're like, man, what am I getting myself into? Or what was your mindset at? Were you always pretty confident throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's some worry for sure.
Yeah.
But all I know is no hail. Since I opened Sol Vista, there's not been, there's been a couple little storms, but that's all I know.
So it might be a blessing in disguise.
Exactly. And so it goes back to, for me, I knew I was walking into kind of a little bit of a cool market, and I thought that's actually kind of a competitive edge for me. There's a lot of roofing companies around town that they've got big offices and big fleets and huge teams, and I don't have that. So I'm going to be able to weather the storm a little bit better than somebody like that may be in that situation.
You were lean and mean, so it wasn't as painful.
Lean and mean. So I got a little bit of armor on that for me. For what I'm working on, so I'm kind of, man, some people are going to hate this. I'm desystematizing some stuff. Okay. And then I want to desystematize, just, feel it out, and then resystematize, if that makes sense.
So maybe the system doesn't feel too super systemized, right? It doesn't feel built right.
100%.
Yeah.
And, this goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning. And, there may not be people that can relate as much to this, but I'm a planner. And so before I even launched my company, I had a library of all these SOPs, procedures. I had my CRM all built out. I had the Sumo code. I got everything all built. But you
might be the only roofer to ever have all that done.
I'm saying, and I think it's because those things are important. But the thing that's different for me is they're not important unless you know your business. That's
the thing, is you didn't know the business yet, so you pre-built the systems, because don't worry, I didn't pre-build anything. I promise you that. So I know, because, and then all of a sudden, once you start to figure it out, like what's going well, what how, and you start to feel it out, then you start to write it out and build it out.
Yeah.
But before then, you don't even have anything, right? Like, it's just figuring it out. And
That's right.
And if you build the process before figuring it out, they're not going to make sense, because it's all hypothetical until you kind of get in there and see what it's like.
I mean, 100%, right? I mean, like, so I built all this stuff out, and then I was trying to go and follow my own checklists, and I'm like, man, this doesn't make sense, right? And now, especially that we're doing,
is that crazy? Think about it.
Now that we're doing more commercial, like none of that stuff is really even relevant anyway. So I'm like, okay, we got to take this back to basics.
Yeah.
Let's just do this the smart way that we know is right for our customers. Just focus on having a really good customer experience and good high margin deals, and then let's just do that. Let's just do that for a little bit, and then we'll build a system and a process around however that fits for us, right? And not just what we think it's supposed to be, or what somebody else thinks it's supposed to be. So I think if there's any takeaway there, it's like, everything you hear is about, if you want to scale, you need systems. But before you can get systems, like, you need to even know what you want to scale. And I didn't know that yet. Like, and we're still frankly learning. You know,
Yeah.
the mix, the product and customer mix that we're doing right now between commercial, residential, maybe other trades, is not really well defined yet, you know, in terms of what niche are we going to go after to make this thing really, you know, push
And
the
it could
gas
be
pedal.
another year and a half, you know what I
Or
mean?
more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or more, 2 years, right? So it takes a little bit of time. And that's why you have to be, you know, patiently aggressive, if you will, because just keep going. It's almost like a head down, keep going, figuring it out. And then all of a sudden it starts to piece together, like little by little. But you're like, oh, this is starting to actually come together a little bit, right?
Yep.
And so you can't rush it, unfortunately, right? But it's just part of the process. And I think always, you know, getting better. And one thing that I got that was really good, I keep using, is, I forgot who told me this, but it was like, hey, you're not fixing the business, you're building the business, right? So I always come here like, God damn, I have to fix this, Oh shit, I gotta fix this. Oh my God. No, hey, I haven't built this yet.
You know what, dude? I heard you say that. I think it was on a recent podcast.
Yeah.
You said that, and
Yeah,
that
it
really
helped me a lot. That's why I keep saying it. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel that heart, because to me it feels like all these decisions, when you're making a decision that affects your business, if in that moment it feels very permanent in a way, to me anyway. And it's like, I've already, man, I'm 3 or 4 decisions deep on a few different things that, like, if you don't like it, just toss it. Do it a way that feels more natural for you and your company. You know, so that's why I really appreciated when you said that. You know, you're not fixing it, you're building it. That's all. That's a step towards building. I think that's true.
Oh yeah, right. And don't forget to look back. It sounds cliche, but look back. You know, maybe if you were, you know, just getting going, look at where your knowledge was, right? Think about where you were as a business in comparison to now in such a short period of time. And you're like, all right, hey, I have, you know, accomplished some pretty cool things. So, all right, we got a game now. All right, we're gonna move into the game, and then from there, I got to leave you the floor to close it out. So you can end it with a book suggestion, a quote, life advice. Doesn't really matter. It's gonna be all on your floor. Oh, hey there. You come here often? I feel like I see you every Wednesday. And you know, you definitely caught my eye. I'll tell you one thing, you know how to stand out from a crowd. You already got a lot of great things going for you. I mean, I see your company. I see what you got going on. I want to be part of it. You know, how about I give you my number and you send me a text? 720-796-4935. Hey, yeah, it's Nick, right? Peakleads.io. I think we can help you generate some commercial roofing leads. Looking forward to chatting. Talk soon. We're going to start with who wants to be a roofing millionaire, okay? So basically it's 5 questions, and you get 2 lifelines. So the first one is 50-50. It'll remove 2 of the wrong answers, leaving you with a 50% chance of getting the answer correct.
Okay.
The second one is going to be phone a friend. So, right, you get to call anybody in your phone. If they don't pick up, you lose the lifeline.
Ooh.
Sound
okay.
good?
Yup.
All right. So I gotta make sure you don't cheat. I've had some cheaters over here. You look.
I can't look at the screen.
Yeah, no.
Oh man, you're gonna make it hard on me. Shoot.
Well, I mean that's the answers. The answers are on there. So hold on. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Let's
do it.
Here we go. All right, so you graduated from Metro State University of Denver in 2008. What jersey number does Rhodey the Roadrunner, the MSU mascot, wear to the games? Is it A, 65, B, 53, C, 62, or D, 45?
Lifeline. Remove 2 for me.
All right. Well, we got 62 and 45 have been eliminated, leaving you with A or B, 65 or 53.
65.
Boom, that's right. You
There
felt
we
good
go.
about 65 after that.
Yep.
You knew it was in the 60s.
I knew it was
but-
a 60, so I was hoping you would eliminate one of those other 60 answers.
You know, it's funny because people come on here and they use the 50-50, right? And they say, I'll use the 50-50. It's like, I know, they're like, I know it's either this one or this one. And I'm like, all right, well, now you're really putting the pressure on me because surprisingly enough, we don't have an automated system that automatically removes two. I just, you know,
You do it on the fly. Nice
I do it on
job.
the fly. So it's like, all right, well, I'm going to give it to you then too. So it's almost like a free one when they say that. All right. So your roofing company, Sol Vista's website says you are the #1 company in Denver with 5 stars on Google. You might be right. How many reviews do you have? Is it A, 30, B, 45, C, 51, or D, 62?
It's C51. We just got another one last night.
Nice.
Yep.
Let's go.
That fills me up, man. I love getting reviews.
I love
That's
that.
one of the things that keeps me going. I love when we get a good customer feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Oh, you can't beat that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys go about your reviews? Do you guys send a link? Do you guys ask in person? What's your process?
You know, I think we ask too much, but we haven't received any bad feedback about it asking too much yet. So we're
Yeah.
going to keep doing that because we, you know, what did I say? 15, 18 months in and we have 51 reviews. I mean, it's maybe not record pace, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel okay about that.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
because we ask, you know, we got our CRM set up to ask twice and we always personally will ask at least once.
Yep.
You know,
I love it. I love it,
Yep.
man. Well, you're doing a good job. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch it up. You know, I think we're gonna pause the trivia, and I think we got the putting green set up here. I think we're gonna switch it up. Hold on.
Oh, is that for me?
Oh, that's for you. So
Oh,
I
my.
think we're gonna give you 5 putts now.
Okay.
All right, and the goal is to make at least 3 of the putts. All
I
right?
got to make 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
See what we got here. So we're gonna switch it up here. See what we got. We'll have some views here. Hold on, let me switch up the shot here. Alright, so I think this one we're gonna set up and we're gonna put this right here.
Right here, Nick? This looks good?
Oh, no, that's not right. Hold on. We're gonna have this one on the actual green here.
Okay.
I'm gonna remove this one over here. Get the other camera shot going. Hold on.
I'm about to take some practice putts here.
No practice putts. No practice putts allowed here. All right, hold on. All right. So
this counts towards my millionaire game.
yep. How you feeling? How you feeling about this? Hold on. I gotta get a better shot here. Hold on. How you feeling here?
Ooh. You know, I'm not gonna give you any excuses, man. I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna make 5 of these.
All right.
Are you ready for me to putt this?
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Let's putt. Oh no.
Oh, in the water.
Oh baby.
How did that one feel? Hey, Shirley, how did that one feel? In the water, bro. What happened?
Dude, you hate to put it in the
Oh,
water.
man.
That's not how you golf.
Let's-
All right. Let's do it better, a little bit better this time around, huh? There we go. Come on home.
Oh, we're in. All right. He's one for 2. How's that
There we
feel?
go.
You feel warmed up?
I'm just getting started, man. I
Remember,
think you're gonna regret this.
remember, he had no warm-up putts, so.
Yeah. No, you're gonna. Oh, there we go.
Ooh, he's warmed up now. You're feeling good now, Shirley,
You
eh?
said I only need to make 3.
Oh, yeah, man. Let's see what she's got here.
All right, here we go. Oh, get
He
there.
gets cocky,
Oh.
and he doesn't have enough power. So it looks like it's on the line. Pressure's on.
So this is my last match, right?
Hey, how are we feeling?
You know, I'm 2 for 4. I gotta sink this one, and then Nick's gonna make me a roofing millionaire. So
Yep.
I guess I gotta make this putt.
Let's go.
We need some crowd noise in here, right?
Ooh.
There it is.
And he makes it.
Man, look at that! Boom, boom, boom! Yes.
How you feeling? Hey.
I'm feeling really relieved that I made that, and that I'm not gonna be embarrassed for my golf skills.
Let's go. I'm impressed. Well done. You did it. Nice job. 3
Thank
for
you.
5. Pressure was on. Clap them
Golf
in.
clap? You got the golf clap
Unbelievable.
going?
Unbelievable.
All right.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah, felt good.
I think we gotta order some more, so we're probably gonna send you one, but because we might not have your size here, we got more on the way. So look
dude.
you up, but just for show and tell.
Yeah.
Let the world know.
There we go.
Let the world know.
I like big roofs, and I cannot like this. You know what? This is the hottest fashion accessory in the roofing world right here.
Amen. Hold on, one more time with some passion now. Say it loud and proud.
All right. I like big roofs, and I cannot lie.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it.
There we go.
Awesome job, buddy. All right.
We're
Well, hey,
proud.
The floor is yours. Close them out. Whatever you want to leave them with.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, I'm still on the come up here, and I hope I have a long, long road ahead of running Sol Vista Roofing. But, the only advice I can say from my current perspective, where I'm at in our current life cycle and this trajectory, is don't close any doors. The way that, it was, I didn't expect this, but the way that you think your business is gonna look, 100% it will not look that way. That's the only guarantee. You have to keep any door open and be open to, be opportunistic to those opportunities and say yes to some of that stuff. And you may be surprised where that takes you and your company. For me, as I explained to you, it led us a little bit into some more commercial opportunities, which I feel very grateful for, but you never know what it may be next. And so just keep looking, keep your eyes up, look for all those open doors and see where it takes you.
Yep. I love that. Opportunity stands by quietly waiting for you to notice, right? So be open to everything and attached to nothing, right? That way you're able to adapt, pivot as needed. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me, bud.
Thanks, man.